You know, son, I wasn't always this old man, you see. There was a time when I was your age, foolish, curious, and brave enough to walk into places I should have never gone. That house, our house, wasn't always haunted. It became that way in the night I decided to open the wrong door. I remember the storm outside, the way thunder echoed through those wooden walls. My mother was gone by then, and my father never talked about what happened in that old bedroom upstairs. He just told me, never open it after dark, but when you're young, warnings sound like invitations, don't they? So I took a candle and went in. The air was cold, heavy. Dust hung in the air like smoke. On the table there was a photo, a man standing with a child whose face had been scratched out. I thought it was damaged by time. But then I saw the words on the back. Don't let him in. I laughed it off, until I heard a whisper, soft, right next to my ear. You already did. The candle blew out, and from that moment, nothing in that house was ever the same again. You see, son, once you invite something in, you can't ever ask it to leave. That photograph, son. I still see it every time I close my eyes. The edges burned into my memory like the flame that died that night. When the candle went out, I remember fumbling in the dark, my breath turning to smoke in the cold. I found my way back to the hall, but something followed me. I could hear tiny footsteps behind mine, wet, dragging, soft, as if a child was walking barefoot on the old floorboards. I tried to tell myself it was just the wind. But then I saw the photo again the next morning. It was lying on my bed, even though I'd left it upstairs, and the child's face, the one that had been scratched out, it wasn't blank anymore. It was clear, too clear. It was my face. I thought I was losing my mind. I asked my father about it, begged him to explain, but his hands trembled. He said, "You shouldn't have touched that photo." You woke him up. Who? I asked. He looked at me like a man watching his own death come for him. The boy who was never meant to exist. That night, I heard whispering again, right from the corner of my room. A soft broken voice, like a child trying to mimic a lullaby. I turned my head slowly and saw a reflection in the mirror beside my bed. The reflection smiled, but I wasn't smiling. When your reflection moves without you, son, that's when you know something else has taken interest in your life. You ever stared at your own reflection too long, son? After a while, it stops looking like you. It starts watching you back. That's what happened to me. I tried to avoid mirrors after that night, covered them all with sheets. But one evening, while I was washing my face, I forgot. I looked up, and there he was, standing right behind me in the reflection, a small boy, my height when I was about 10, pale skin, dark, hollow eyes. And when I turned around, no one was there. My heart pounded like a drum in my chest. I called out, "Who's there?" But only silence answered. I looked back at the mirror, and the boy was closer now, so close I could see my own scar on his eyebrow. I whispered, "What do you want?" He tilted his head and said something I'll never forget. "You took my place." The mirror cracked. Just a thin line down the middle, but I swear I felt it slice right through me. My father came running in when he heard the noise. He saw the mirror, saw my face, and went pale. He said, "It's happening again." That night, he locked himself in his study. I heard him crying, praying, whispering apologies to someone who wasn't there. And then he said it, words that still echo in my mind. "I'm sorry, son." I had no choice. I didn't understand then. But I do now. The reflection, that boy, wasn't just a ghost. He was a trade. When a man cheats death, son, something else has to take his place. You see, son, some debts don't disappear, not even after death. My father thought he could fool the darkness. He made a deal when I was just a child. That night I heard him talking to someone in the study. His voice trembled like he was pleading. "Take me instead," he said. "Leave the boy alone." But the other voice, the one answering him, wasn't human. It was soft, almost sweet, but hollow. "The trade is done." He's already seen his face. I peeked through the crack of the door. My father sat at his desk, his hands shaking, and right across from him, in the chair meant for guests, sat the reflection. The boy, smiling. His eyes were completely white, no pupils, no light, just emptiness. I shut the door and ran, but I could still hear my father shouting my name. And then, silence. When I finally dared to open the door again, the chair was empty, and my father was gone. Only his reflection remained in the mirror, still sitting, staring back at me. I was too scared to cry. I just stood there, watching my own face tremble. Then the reflection smiled, not the boy this time, but me. My reflection smiled first. I smashed the mirror. Glass flew everywhere. I thought it was over. But you can't destroy what doesn't belong to this world. You can only delay it. Years passed. I grew older, but every time I looked into a mirror, I'd see something behind me. Sometimes just a flicker, sometimes a shadow, sometimes the boy, still waiting. You can run from a ghost, son, but not from your reflection. One day, it always catches up. That was the year the frost came early. Everything in this town felt quieter, like the air itself was holding its breath. I remember I stopped keeping mirrors in the house, covered every one of them with old sheets. But that didn't stop him. One night I was sitting right here in this very chair, fire burning low, when I noticed something in the window. Not a person, not a shadow either, just a face. It wasn't outside, no. It was inside the glass, staring in from the wrong side. His eyes were as white as snow, and he smiled that same slow smile I hadn't seen in 50 years. I told myself, "You're old, you're tired, you're seeing things." But when I blinked, it was closer, not in the window anymore, in the reflection of my teacup. I dropped the cup, it shattered like a scream. I grabbed the mirror I kept hidden under the stairs, the last one from my father's study. I don't even know why. Maybe I wanted to face him. Maybe I was tired of being hunted. The moment I pulled the sheet off, there he was. The boy, same as before, not a wrinkle, not a breath older. He smiled and said, "You shouldn't have broken the glass, old man." Every piece was a doorway. Before I could even move, the air turned heavy, cold enough to freeze breath mid-air. My reflection, my own face, blinked without me blinking. Then it whispered in my voice, "Trade's not done yet." I swear to you, son, my heart stopped right then. And the mirror cracked all by itself, not shattered, just one long crack down the middle, like it was splitting the world in two. That's when I realized it never left. It was always with me in every reflection, every shiny surface, waiting for me to look too long. The boy doesn't age. He waits until you look into something reflective long enough, and then he looks back. You're still here, huh? Brave one. Most folks stop listening for this part. But you wanted the truth, so I'll give it to you, every damn word. After that night, I packed up what was left of my things and moved to this cabin. Far from town, far from reflections. No mirrors, no glass, no metal shiny enough to show a face. I even covered the windows with the old quilts. Thought I could outrun it. But you can't run from what's inside you. See, the boy wasn't a ghost. No, he was something worse. Something that needs your image to live. Every time someone sees him in a reflection, he takes a piece. A sliver of who you are. That's why he never ages. He's patchwork now, stitched together from every poor soul who ever looked too long. I've seen him. In the kettle shine, in the puddle after rain, even in the dull glint of my spoon. Always smiling, always waiting. I think he's patient, 'cause he knows I don't have much time left. But listen, you must promise me something. Don't go upstairs. There's one mirror I couldn't bring myself to destroy. It's covered under a sheet in the attic. I kept it, 'cause, well, maybe part of me wanted to see my father again. Or maybe I just couldn't believe the boy was real. Last night I heard the sheet fall. No wind, no sound, just a soft thud. I didn't go up, but I heard breathing. Not mine. Slow, wet, heavy breathing. Like someone standing inches from the glass. I reckon he's almost here. Maybe when I'm gone he'll find someone else to look for him. Maybe that's why I told you this story, so you'd know to stay away. But if you ever feel the urge to uncover that mirror, don't. Not for me. Not for anyone. 'Cause once you see him, even for a second, he'll see you too. And when he smiles, it's already too late. If you ever visit this old cabin, and the attic door creaks open by itself, don't look in. Whatever you do, don't look in. Some reflections should stay unseen. You've heard my story now. And maybe you think it's just the rambling of an old man. But every night, when the lamps go out, I still see him. Standing in the glass, smiling that same broken smile. If you ever see an old mirror in an abandoned house, don't touch it. Don't look in it. And if you hear someone whisper your name from the reflection, run. Because once the mirror remembers you, it never forgets.